Good gravy, sweet mother of pearl, heavens to Murgatroyd, every which way from Sunday. What do you say? What do you know? Tip the veal, try the waitress all over the place. Piss and blood and bleeding piss. How are you sexy animals? Welcome to the Smackdown Live Hulu review. My name's Bob. We used to do the Hulu Raw review, but with Smackdown going from live Tuesday instead of aired Thursday, by the time I would have dropped Raw and gotten that on YouTube, what would happen is that Raw would, both shows would be over by the time I put my Raw thing out, so it would be a big waste of time. An even bigger waste of time than listening to me make bad jokes about professional wrestling. But this is the first Smackdown of the draft, first one after WWE Battleground, which is available on a network for $99 a month with no commitment. Order yours today, featuring original programming exclusive to WWE Network, such as Breaking Ground and Unfiltered with Renee Young, not to mention an extensive library, and only $99 a month with no commitment. All right. Then now forever. Oh, so commercials. We have to start with commercials because this is still the Hulu experience, even though we don't have anything omitted like we would with a 3-hour Raw. Difficult People is an original program on Hulu. Difficult People, get this. They're people who live in New York City, but they're not good people. Huh? Huh? Bad people living in New York City. I can't wait. We open the show about Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon are backstage, and they tell us about how this show is about wrestling. It's about competition. It's not about the commissioner GM roles. And as they tell us this, they have their live microphones. They walk from backstage out through the gorilla position, down the aisle to thunderous applause. And those other 38 supporting cast members are just kind of hanging around a ring already with no introduction. But it's not about the general manager, so keep that in mind for later. My hair's looking goofy. Just got out of the shower. Okay, they announce after Dean Ambrose, their champion, who won on Battleground, they have the champion for now. Dean Ambrose enters separately, makes sense, and they announce they're doing like a number 6 combo match, like a 6-layer nacho match. Later on in the main event, where 6 dudes are going to wrestle, and whoever gets the pinfall will compete against Dean Ambrose. SummerSlam for the championship makes sense. But they only name 5 guys. They name Sheamus, Baron Corbin, I'm not kidding, Dolph Ziggler, seriously, John Cena, AJ Styles, and Bray Wyatt. Little side note, I'm glad that Bray Wyatt was in a hood off to the side and not seen amongst the rest of the crew, just hanging out on the apron like everybody else. I don't care what holiday it is, what tragedy it was, who's retiring, what the occasion is. Bray Wyatt should never be sitting there on the ramp with an armband going, "Dopey, I'm Opie Bray Wyatt. I'm one of the sad kids who work." He should never do that. And I really don't like him out there at all for those things, but at least they kept him, TV-wise, they kept him away. So I could live with that. They're going to have a battle royal to determine the 6 of these 6 guys. Some commercials. Back to the Battle Royal. Kane tosses out Gotch very quickly. Gotch's trouble backstage, the fight with Sin Cara and injuring Enzo. I wouldn't be too surprised if that was a little message. Probably not even something official. It was just like, hey, my guess, I have no knowledge, but my guess is Kane was told, axe him right away, and he'll eat it and like it, and that'll be that. He takes out the Ascension too with the double choke thing to the outside. Commercials, Dove Body Wash, wrestling fans, hydrate your skin while you're sweating chicken tenders out of row 38Z. Buy a Volkswagen, wrestling fans. And we get back to the Battle Royal. And, ooh, this is a great example of SmackDown being live, and what's the difference? This is the difference. Zack Ryder, and again, I hate picking on botches because it's 88 times harder than it looks. But Zack Ryder slipped off the rope when he was trying to hit the elbow drop off the top. And all he could do is go to the fist. They couldn't go back up top. They're not going to edit it. And then Kalisto had to stutter step him to hit that Rana face slam thing that he does. Because once one thing gets messed up, it just gets compiled. So, yeah, that's SmackDown's live, guys. No one's going to be protected anymore. Apollo Crews wins the thing. He backflips out of a choke slam from Kane. Renee does an interview with him. On Raw this week, too, they started with these after-match interviews here and there. It's kind of like they're doing a UFC thing, which is kind of funny how these things come full circle. We come to a teaser for after commercial. Becky Lynch and Natalya are walking, so you need to know that. And their walking is presented by Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew. One of the finest athletes in the world. Presented by Mountain Dew. Okay. They have a barn burner of a match, Becky and Natalya. Becky gets her win back from Battleground. She taps out Natalya. Thankfully, I love Becky, but thankfully she got her ass kicked because I just think it made her victory mean more. She's kind of like the Sami Zayn of the women's group. You know, she's got to get her ass kicked and not win too much when she does. It's like, oh, hey, you know, underdog kind of thing. Then all of the new girls come out to say hi. Alexa Bliss comes out and she says some stuff that is the least entertaining she's ever been because some asshole must have wrote it for her. Same with Carmella. It was great to see her. She's sexually attractive. Men want to fornicate with her with her penises and what have you. But she seemed a little off. Naomi was in the middle somewhere, and then they did this huge Eva Marie entrance. I guess it was so over the top that even the heels were like, "What the hell is this?" And I would get them all have heat on her. I noticed she was right in the center on the apron of the hard camera during the opening segment too. I don't think that's an accident. We did a Miz TV with Randy Orton. Randy Orton's back. Maurice is very funny. Oh, Miz and Maurice are walking before the commercial too. There's a lot of commercials in this one. They're just walking. That's what they do. They got to get there somehow. Miz TV. Miz says some stuff to Randy Orton. Nothing really too interesting there. Orton says not a lot. He's going to wrestle Brock Lesnar, and they're on 2 different shows. So I guess I really don't know. But anyway, they end up having a match, and Miz kind of kicks Orton's ass and hurts his. He makes Orton sell his shoulder. An RKO out of nowhere. Long big sell, which is kind of odd. But Orton and Cena both, after 15 years, they became the awesome workers we were told they were 15 years ago. And it was really cool how he did it. He pulled it off. Because on paper, you'd read that and go, this is the dumbest, makes no sense. But he did this big long sell and then hit another finish the same way and then beat him. It was interesting how they did it. I liked it. Another commercial for Difficult People in New York City. It's like a Friends, but with a black guy. It's Difficult People. Watch that on Hulu. Only $7.99 a month with limited commercial interruptions. Drive a Kia, wrestling fans, and join the Air Force. And then we have a promo for the American Alpha team. Then a jobber gets attacked by Heath Slater. And there's a little Heath Slater chant. He's getting a little bit of that ironic love there. And Rhino bringing in the new blood. Rhino gores Heath Slater, and I guess he was the hottest free agent or something, and Shane McMahon seemed to enjoy that. But it's not about the general managers. It's not what this program's about. We do a Bray Wyatt promo. It's about change, but stuff still staying the same, which goes into his entrance where he says, Buffalo, I'm here. Buffalo is the name of his opponent, if you don't watch it. Buffalo is obviously where they were wrestling in Buffalo, New York, upstate. And that went into the entrance, and he's got to be a baby face. Why? He's got to be like 92 to 96 Taker. He's got to be that guy for a little bit. And I think people will buy it. But whatever. We have who we like. Blah 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 blah. Everyone enters. Quick brawls for a few seconds. We go to Geico Auto Insurance. Hefty Bags. Another commercial that I forgot. Come back from commercial. Wyatt and AJ are beating up Apollo. They kind of take turns. Now Baron Corbin's beating up Apollo. More commercials. There's this weird laundry thing. Files Internet. Take care of that. That'll get your Hulu Plus to your laptop, your personal computer, or your mobile device in no time. We come back from commercial with this big double Tower of Doom thing where it's like a power bomb into a suplex off the buckle, and all 6 of them are 3 on one side, 3 on another, and it's a big boom, 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 and yay. John Cena hits his finish, the AA, a whole bunch of times on just about everybody. And Dolph wins with a super kick on AJ Styles. I did not see Dolph winning. I did not see anyone winning this match with a super kick. He does go for that zigzag move. I think they're trying to, before we get to the main event, the Dean Ambrose thing, I think they're trying to establish the super kick as another credible finish for Dolph. Just because the zigzag is alright, but it can be missed and it can be sloppy, and it's a little hard to detect when he does it because you never really do it the same way twice. I always thought I love Ziggler, but I always thought that move was a little off. I never really quite got it. So I like the super kick for that purpose. Sean's not coming back, guys. It's knock it off. Dean Ambrose now, of course, they play his music and he comes out and he holds. Every wrestler is supposed to have his or her own individual character, but yet everyone who's the champion stares at their challenger and holds the belt up like this. Every one of them. And every one of them points to a WrestleMania sign January through March. Why wouldn't they do anything else? Why wouldn't you point to the WrestleMania sign behind your back or something like that? or just go like this. You're not. Hey, WrestleMania. Why would you just anything else? Something stupid, but the belt. Like what? And if you're eyeball to eyeball with someone, why would you hold it way the hell? Why would you just hold it there and have this is belt? Look, belt. And I never got it. But this show is obviously with Dolph Ziggler winning. It is about athletic competition. So it's about Ziggler. It's about Dean Ambrose going one-on-one at SummerSlam, and Daniel Bryan comes out to raise their hands, but he's like an ex-wrestler, and he represents a lot of technical so that's fine. And then Shane McMahon's music hits to raise all of their hands. I guess it's not about the general managers, guys. It's not about... Never mind the fact that a challenger just won a hard match, and now he's confronted by the champion, who he will be challenging at SummerSlam, which is, I think, I'd say it's the third biggest pay-per-view of the year. Mania Rumble Slam is the way I would go with it. Yeah, not about the commissioners. Notes on this show before I get out of here. I like the new theme, the new logo, the blue ropes, the new logo. It doesn't look too different. Obviously, they have to call it SmackDown Live and not SmackDown, just to drill it into your head. We saw the effects of what live TV, how SmackDown is going to be different with some of the Zack Ryder. I hate saying botches. It's such a dick word now, but shit just happens. Anything could go wrong. You never really know whose fault anything is. You're not in there, but whatever. With that stuff, we're going to see what goes on. The entrances and the timing and everything else. A lot of it's a very NXT heavy show, more so than the new Raw. This is a lot of new blood in this thing, and more to come. The Alphas haven't even wrestled there yet. It happens next week. But I do want to make this note. I don't know if anyone's picked up on this. A ton of new camera angles. I noticed during the Battle Royal, they had it's a big hard camera shot. It's not quite as wide like when you play a video game. It's almost like a rectangle that slightly goes up. Like, I don't know, it starts with a P. I don't know what the hell name. Almost like a rhombus, but a rhombus goes this way. This would be like a half rhombus. But it was different. It just showed you a different side of things, and they weren't doing nearly as many of the classic Raw Kevin Dunn slice the camera angle in the middle of the move, like they would always do it to Van Damme's frog splash, but they still do it to this day. It's like you pick them up for an AA, and right before the bump for the AA, it's boom, new camera angle, which is we just can't see what the hell is happening, and all that stupid camera shaking whenever anyone's getting pounded in the corner, the camera's bouncing in, it's all that awful shit. They really didn't do barely any of that in SmackDown, and they held those camera shots instead of 2 seconds or 3 seconds. It is that frequent on Raw. If you start following, it'll drive you nuts. This was more of a 5-6 second. Like they were letting you watch the wrestling. They're still talking and they're setting up, but at least the talking done here was to set up the wrestling. So I like it. I mean, I heard a lot of people say Raw was the most amazing Raw in years, and it was the most amazing Raw in several years. But I also heard people say SmackDown just didn't live up to it, and I thought SmackDown was a pretty damn good SmackDown. I think Raw kind of blew its load. Let's see next week's Raw. Lesnar's coming back, but what's he going to do? Really, Heyman will say something awesome, but what's there really for Lesnar to do there? So who knows? Something awesome is going to happen. I wouldn't be wrong. So I think, yes, SmackDown I thought was actually pretty good. I was told it was going to be underwhelming, and I ended up enjoying it. I'm interested to see what goes on. How I'm afraid of Carmella and Alexa, and even Naomi coming back, getting smashed in the middle of this, what is clearly going to be an Eva Marie heavy focus. The division's going to have heavy focus on her. Shelton Benjamin's coming back. I don't know if it's next week, but he's coming. So we'll see what he does there. Looks like a pretty stacked roster. We'll see what Mojo Rawley does there and everything else. Who knows what they're going to do with tag team titles with all those tag teams. And they made a big deal about American Alpha. So we got the Alpha guys next week, maybe Shelton, and we'll see what goes on there. Last thing, start a race war in the comments. Just say something bad about another. Just go ahead. It's fine. I don't care. I'm not going to join in, but I'm just saying. If most people tell you not to do that. I'm not going to edit you. I'm not going to censor you. You're WWE Universe. You have the right to say whatever you want to do. You clicked on that. I don't even have ads on this. You clicked on this thing. So if you want to start a race war, do it. Okay. Join me next week. SmackDown Live, Hulu Raw review. Hulu review. SmackDown Live. I'm Bob.